The type of PPE to be worn is dictated by site-specific rules, designated areas, or due diligence. Site-specific rules are site workplace policies or procedures about the type of PPE to be worn at the workplace. Designated areas are identified by blue signs, mandatory, must be worn, example, safety boots. Due diligence is where you think certain PPE is required and should be worn. When selecting PPE, consult the manufacturer or safety equipment distributor for advice on selection, maintenance, storage requirements, and training in correct use of PPE. Basically, there are 5 things to remember about PPE. Have it with you every day. Use it. Keep it in good order, that is, replace it if it's faulty or damaged. Obey all signage relating to PPE. Consult the advisory standard personal protective equipment for more information. All PPE used at a workplace must be in accordance with the relevant Australian standard. Safety helmets. The hard hat is one of the most common pieces of PPE when there is a risk of falling objects. Surviving one bad knock on the head will more than make up for the inconvenience of wearing it. Some simple tips on using and maintaining a hard hat include: adjust the headband so it fits snugly and comfortably. Test by touching your toes. If the helmet falls off, it's too loose. Attach a chin strap to keep it on in windy conditions. Replace the harness inside the hard hat every 2 years. Get a new hard hat every 3 years. Replace immediately if it gets damaged. Always wear it. Conditions at the workplace can change quickly, especially on a construction site. There is no such thing as a hazard-free zone on a construction site. Safety footwear. Even a minor foot injury can put you out of action and cost you wages. Thongs are not acceptable for footwear at a workplace. Consult your company's footwear policy on acceptable footwear. Workshops and construction sites are considered high risk, so steel cap boots must be worn. Some tips for footwear. Footwear should have strong uppers, resilient and rigid soles, comfortable and protective steel toe caps. Damaged or worn out footwear must be replaced. Check the grip on the soles regularly. Hand protection. Hand injuries are by far the most common injuries at the workplace. To prevent hand injuries, there is a wide range of purpose-made gloves, mittens, and barrier creams for handling everything from welding gear to hazardous substances and chemicals. Eye protection. After hand injuries, injuries to the eyes are most frequent. Like gloves, eye protection gear is available in a wide range of types from goggles to full face mask. Apart from obvious dangers like welding, damage to your eyes can be caused by metal and wood shavings, flying nails, chemical dust and splashes, tools and equipment being used by nearby workers, outdoor work. Hearing protection. It doesn't take a lot to permanently damage your hearing. The noise level of a common power saw, 110 decibels, is enough to cause damage. It can take as little as 2 minutes a day of unprotected exposure to a power saw cutting metal to permanently reduce your hearing. Obtain some approved protective earplugs or earmuffs and develop the habit to wear them. Make sure the noise attenuation is sufficient to reduce the noise level to an acceptable limit. Respiratory protection. Vapor from many common glues, solvents, chemicals and finishes can damage the membrane in your nose, the air passages in your throat and your lungs. Other real dangers for the respiratory system are dust and fine fragments from sawing, drilling, and welding, which become airborne, are inhaled. In most cases, you may only need an approved disposable dust mask suitable for the task. If a more sophisticated respirator is needed, make sure one is available and that you use it. Protective clothing. Safety data sheets will generally show the personal protective equipment required. Read the instructions and warnings on the packaging or label, then consult the appropriate safety data sheet and wear the necessary PPE. While they may be uncomfortable in hot weather, protective aprons, coats, or bodysuits will minimize the risks of being seriously injured by hot, poisonous, or corrosive liquids or solids. Harnesses. Effective when working at height greater than 3 meters only. Wear an approved harness and attach the other end of the lanyard to a suitable anchor point. You should also put on a harness when entering confined spaces and station an observer at the anchor end of the lanyard to help you if necessary. Always ensure the harness is in working order, adjust it so it fits comfortably, and check the lifeline is not frayed or chafed.